I'm Damon Zell, and this is your Eve Echoes weekly news update, where we take a deep dive into all the happenings of the week. But first, if you can tag that subscribe button, like, share the video, and hit that bell for notifications, you can stay up to date with everything that this channel has to offer. Now, I do have two corrections from last week, one of which was about that abandoned citadel that was destroyed. Apparently, it was not abandoned, it was just left. The second one would be one that would bite me in the butt this week, and that was the comment that K4 is not Delve. That's right, K4 is actually Aquarius. Now I put in the comment, trying to be a little funny, that yes, more often than not, I actually forget that Aquarius exists. Now, again, you'll see later on how this bites me in the butt, because there was some big news coming out of Aquarius. Okay, as for the little pilot, he is doing fantastic. He's still getting bigger, he's developing that laugh even more. He is turning himself over. He's not crawling yet, but he does scoot. Now, what he does is he will just stay on his back and then, zoom about 1.5 to 3 feet until we pick him up and put him back off his little playmat. But he has not started crawling yet. He does do a good Superman impression, though, when he's on his tongue. Now we move right into the patch notes for Thursday, September 2nd. The maintenance did go over as planned. It ended on time, which was great. There was no delays like last week. But let's get right into what they did here. Now, first, of course, we update the estimated market prices. This is a weekly, it's a given. I don't understand why they keep putting it down. But, 2. Show permanent main interface display. Now can be turned on or off in a new player mission interface. They added a shortcut with 3. Now you can go to structure management interface by tapping the structure awaiting materials notice in your citadel. Number 4, they did add a second confirmation before undocking with a ship not eligible for compensation. Number 5, and I think this is great, there's a new 2-week event, and it's begun, during which the tax rate of Amar, the trading center in Amar, has been lowered. Bounties that you get from pirates have gained from will be now boosted, as well as the special anomaly rate over the weekends during these 2 weeks. So get out there and rat during the weekends, or if you're more inclined to hunt the PvEers, there's going to be plenty of targets because there is bank to be made. Number 6, I'm just going to read it out there. Previously, in order to avoid drastic fluctuations in corporation offices rent, when the corporation citadel owner adjusted the office rent so that the rent changes, the weekly change did not exceed 25% of the previous week's rent. However, when the base value of the change was too low, the rent increase was also too low. So, moving forward, the change is at least 50,000 ISK if 25% of the previous week's rent was less than 50,000 ISK. Number 7, players who have an active bounty bonus provided by the add-on structures can now see the icon for it in their list of active buffs. Number 8, you're now going to receive a notice when your supply applications are approved or denied. Now, number 9 is a nice change here. If the last hit is dealt by an NPC in a battle where both players and NPCs are involved, the player with the highest damage among the players will receive that kill mail. So there's no more being denied that glorious kill mail if the rat gets the last hit on your mark. Now, with this update, they did also make some changes to the insurance system. This is the 3.0 version, and I will say there are some nice changes added here. Number 1, they improved the way the insurance estimates are calculated. Newly introduced items can be covered sooner. We all see what happens when a new ship or new modules come in. It takes at least about 3 weeks to a month for them to be able to be compensated by that insurance program. This is hopefully going to cut that time down. Number 2, the insurance coverage adjustment. Drones that are in the drone bay and have not been dropped with the kill can now be recovered through insurance. This is a fantastic thing for all those PvPers out there that don't like to carry a bunch of drones, extra drones, in their drone bay in fear of them getting killed and losing all of that. You don't have to worry about that now, because if they don't drop, you're going to get them right back again. Number 3, they added a new corporation add-on structure, the Insurance Office. It can convert system acquisition orders generated from the corporation members' insurance usage into insurance contracts that can only be viewed by the corporation. And backing that up, number 4, on the corporation management screen, the corporation manager can choose the location where these insurance contracts are generated. And number 5, the corporation manager can choose to accept insurance contracts or forward them to another corporation within that alliance. Or, well, it doesn't specifically say within that alliance, but basically it's going to make it so that your corporation or your alliance can now cover these insurance orders that are generated by the system, and that itself will hopefully prop up the indie side. Now, courtesy of one of the devs, Cloud, we do get our first look at some of the future up content with capital ships. I went ahead and asked if the carriers were going to act as the same variation in EVE Online here in EVE Echoes, where in EVE Online, when you launch flights of fighters and bombers, you could actually assign those fighters and bombers to additional fleet members within your fleet, and they can control them while you work on triage mode or using your high slots. Unfortunately, that will not be in the game. There will be no assistance via assignment. However, I did ask how many drones we could expect to, or not drones, but fighters and bombers we can expect to control at one time, and Cloud has told us 9 times 3 light fighters, or a full count of 27. Now, the question was also asked what we could expect out of damage numbers, because we are seeing currently like 6K Macarials and 4K Tempest Strikers. We don't want to see Dreads only pumping out about 3,000 DPS in siege modes. Cloud did say that the DPS of the Dreadnought in the special state, which is going to be siege mode, is much, much higher than that of a battleship. Okay, so we have this 2-week event coming up. It's called the Harvest Fest, and it starts today on the 2nd and lasts through the 16th. Now, what we expect to see during this is 3 specific things. The reduced Amar tax rate. The Amar Trading Center in the domain region, the broker's fee is now minus 3%, and then transaction tax is minus 7%, which is a nice. And I hope people will take advantage of this and start listing things and selling things in Amar and stop using Jita for everything. Now, Captain Benzie and I, we had a conversation in the senior content creator channel on the official Discord about some possible suggestions and ideas we could do to simulate the area. Now, he came up with some brilliant ideas, and it seems that they were either on the same wavelength or they took what he said and ran with it here, because his idea was to not only get reduced taxes and bonuses like this for selling the faction gear in that faction state. In other words, Federation stasis webs and Federation gear in Galante space. You would get, tax off Amar modules and ships, in Amar, so on and so forth. He also had a great idea of adding additional bonuses to faction ships with flying those modules. In other words, if you're flying, say, a Galante ship and you're using only Galante modules, you would get like a hidden 1% or 2% bonus. I thought those were some brilliant ideas. But I digress. Let's revisit this Harvest Fest. The other thing is going to be the increased anoms on the weekends. Now, these are your special anomalies. That's going to be your scout sites. That's going to be your dead spaces that you're going to have to scan down. And these are going to be your Inquisitor sites. They are going to pop up with increased frequency as you're working the system. No specific numbers percentage-wise as of right now, but I guess we can test this weekend. Now, they are also bumping up the bounties from these ratting events, plus 50% bounties. Now, this is also only on the weekends. So that means when you get into that sweet, sweet dead space, because I know I do a lot of PvP, but I have to PvE because I am eternally broke. But that means your bounty ticks are going to skyrocket. So I am suggesting to everyone, take advantage of this weekend. Change all your Concord points to bounty ticks and take advantage of this plus 50% over the 2 weeks. And you will just, keep hitting those numbers again and again and again and getting those higher Concord levels. But I am happy with this event. I'd like to see them do more events like this in the future. It is now time for your Plex market report. Plex is bouncing back and forth between 2 points of resistance, that 1 million and 1.1 million ISK per Plex. Now, whether we're going to see a breakout within the next week or so, I don't know. Probably when people need to start re-upping their Omega, we might see a little bit of a breakout, but I'm not expecting it to run wild. Now, we are seeing some changes in the scanning module market. The Guests and the Gravedigger, those top-of-the-line scanning modules or analyzers, they have been bouncing back and forth between 800 and 500 million per module. Currently, right now, as I'm recording this, the Guest data analyzer is on the market for 600 million, and the Gravedigger is on the market for 800 million. To start us off with the community news this week, we have some crossed intel where a Pantheon pilot kills a blue outpost. That's right, longtime standing member Santiago of Pantheon was running a roam in Vale when he came across a outpost and he started firing it. Now, he was having fun that night and he was on comms in the Gulag Discord server, and he decided to share his screen so that everyone could enjoy his kill. So as he shares his screen, he yells out, "Alright boys, take a look at this." And I'm told he was all smug and proud of his latest kill. They all watch him finishing off a station, and as soon as the kill mail is shared, he clicks it, he sits there for a second, and everyone from the Gulag sees the blue tag on the top. Now during this silence, Santiago just basically says, "That wasn't supposed to be blue." And then he ended his stream. Now this created a whole fun stream of memes with Santiago, but in his defense, I am told that basically that outpost was abandoned by the owner, and the owner itself couldn't unanchor it because No kept shooting at it. So he eventually gave up and made it open for all for staging against No. Santiago did see this and assumed that it was a Firefly base, so he attacked it. Now, the owner of the base did leave Vale and had joined Catch-22 at the time. I have reached out to Catch-22, and they all understand that it was just faulty intel. There's no hard feelings, and everyone had fun all the way around. I did contact Santiago for his comment, and I was just met with Santiago destroys. Now, as an update to this story, Pantheon leadership has offered the original outpost owner a new outpost hand-delivered to whichever system they wish it to be delivered to, as a replacement for what Santiago destroyed. Now, since we are talking about Catch-22, this story has just broken over the last 24 hours. It seems there's a bit of a situation down in Aquarius between Honey Badgers and the Home Hero Alliance and Squatting Squad. Now, all three of these alliances are part of the Catch-22 coalition. These three, however, just residing within Aquarius. Now, apparently, Honey Badgers wanted to lay down citadels within two systems, LS-TAC V29 and Z-TAC UZZN. Now, these systems themselves were already allotted towards HHA and SS. Previously, Honey Badgers already had a citadel in I1Y TAC IU, due to Ni being in Eternal Armada, leaving Aquarius before that. Now, Honey Badgers went and dropped these citadels, and HHA reached out to Honey Badgers, then let them try to negotiate exactly what's going on and that how these systems were allotted towards them and considered Home Hero Alliance territory. Now, from the leadership chats that were shared with me, they knew full well in advance that these systems were HHA and decided to drop the Citadels anyway. In fact, after they were dropped down, they were talking about how to handle this diplomatically. One of them even turned around and said, how about this for a diplomatic approach? Tell the Russians that we can transfer the Citadels later on when we upgrade them to level 2, and then we just don't transfer them. Now, HHA, when they reached out, they did intend, let them know their intent that they were going to destroy the Citadels since they were planted down within their territory, as Honey Badgers has done previously in the past when someone has set down a citadel or outpost within their territory. Now, my initial intel was that HHA and SS were gathering other Russian outfits to stage ships within the area to attack these citadels coming out of anchoring after the maintenance. And due to this information, Honey Badgers actually released a CTA, one of their first in a very long time. They informed their pilots that they are looking at a potential war in the making, and that this time is with their Russian neighbors HHA and SS. They needed everyone to be able to make it for 2 to 3 hours of the CTA between the downtime so that they're ready to defend the citadels. Now, they were hoping that they could resolve this diplomatically because they did let their pilots know, do not shoot any of the HHA SS unless the FC tells you to do so. They are blue currently, and they are anticipating them to break the rules to attack the Citadel. Once they attack the Citadel, all bets are off. As a side note, Honey Badgers were expecting a large fight. From my contacts within the mercenary world, the 6th SEAL Alliance, Honey Badgers actually reached out to them to offer a defensive contract. Now, as far as Catch-22 leadership, they say that basically this really isn't their purview. They're in the realm of their handling, due to the fact that Catch-22 Coalition resides in Catch, and this was a Aquarius matter. Even though these were part of the Catch-22 Coalition, I'm told from sources within Catch-22 leadership that Aquarius is its own animal, and they just do whatever they do over there. Now, as you can see from the screenshots of these leadership chats, they knew full well what was going to happen going in. They knew they were going to take these territories for themselves, to hell with the consequences, because they did outnumber the Russians. Now, as this timer was counting down to the event that would happen that night after downtime, Catch-22 leadership did move all parties into a mediation room in hopes of working this out diplomatically. At the same time, Honey Badgers wanted to put out an official statement that there's nothing really going on, that this issue is propaganda, no big deal, and basically it's already handled to the media. As you can see in this screenshot, aka I was misinformed by my information. I pretty much move along, there's nothing to see here. Now, they were prepping to make sure, even if diplomatic talks fell through, that they were prepared to defend the citadels as they reached out to their allies in Pantheon and Genesis for help defending of the citadels. Now, as the servers came back up, I am informed that Honey Badgers did have about 50 in local and in LOSEC gathered for the defense, and as there were only 3 Home Hero Alliance shooting the station. My source went on to say that he was seeing some HHA login here and there, but probably getting potted. But since HHA did shoot a blue citadel, Honey Badgers were now freely killing their fellow C-22 members in HHA. When all said and done, both citadels were anchored, both were defended, and HHA did lose about 10 ships, I'm told totaling approximately 10 billion in ISK. They said they did wait until the attack was documented and were cleared to engage by the C-22 leadership. Now, whether or not the Catch-22 leadership will look further into this to see if the fight was provoked by Honey Badgers laying these citadels down within the HHA territory is for another story at another time. Unfortunately, more trouble for Pantheon this week as J-Factor's own Legend Corp comes under fire for kicking a pilot for seemingly losing a Vindicator. This story took flight as a Reddit post came up from seemingly the pilot asking if this was normal practice to be kicked from a corporation just for losing a faction battleship. Now, I dug a little bit more into the story and contacted J-Factor to see exactly what the Corp's stances were on this. J-Factor states that he was not kicked for losing his Vindicator, he was kicked for failing to follow instructions. I went ahead and asked him if this was a failure to follow instructions during an official op, and he said people lose ships all the time. I instituted a number of policies to reduce the amount of needless losses in a Corp to improve efficiency. He neglected to follow those instructions, and I have screenshots from the pilot in question who actually say he respected everything I did and had no hard feelings. As you can see in the screenshots on screen, the pilot himself states that he never made the Reddit thread. J-Factor goes ahead and said that the situation itself is already boiling over, and the pilot in question contends he did not even make the Reddit post to begin with, and it's all in an effort to smear him and his corporation. He also states that this is blowback from his operations in the north, as he is holding ratting bases in most of Vale at levels 1 and 2, at level 1 for over the last 2 weeks, as well as destroying a number of silent ships. We will keep our eyes on the story to see if it develops any further. However, with the original pilot stating that he did not make this thread, I guess you cannot believe everything that you read. Also, this week in Quirius, we have the infamous K4 system, just right outside of Ned. And the big news in K4 is that Genesis Federation has dropped a Sov Citadel and has claimed sovereignty within the K4 system. Now, this is a much disputed system. However, dropping the Citadel did grant Genesis a 6th region that they have sovereignty within. And there's 2 reasons why the Citadel and the sovereignty was claimed in K4. One in half of what happened about a week and a half ago, where a Genesis freighter was lost to a no camp. This freighter was that 19, I believe, 0.2 billion freighter that was killed by dead. And the fact that this is a direct pipeline to Genesis's home base area, so they want to keep it clear. K4 has been camped by dead, no, which are basically the same entity at this point in time. OG has been seen gate camping the Ned Gate. It's a very hot zone for catching people unawares. Now, there was a conversation on the Gulag server after that freighter was destroyed where the head of Dead, Immortal Rage, has basically stated that he doesn't think that people understand the meaning of dead territory. K4 is dead territory, and more than likely a person will die there due to them. The conversation proceeded where there was dares thrown around, and Mamasaurus Rex was dared to drop a Sov Citadel within K4. So, challenge accepted. Now, this sparked conversations throughout the week of Pantheon not being able to defend their space and needing Genesis to come in and do so, because Delve and Quirius are sort of a Pantheon stronghold within KES 22 and Pantheon. They share that space. However, again, those are just talking points. The facts of the matter is there is now a Genesis Federation Citadel within K4, and it's there for content. To not only to have some good fights, but also to keep that area clear for the main pipeline to get back and forth through the main Genesis territories. We will keep an eye on it to see exactly how long the Citadel will be able to hold for against the likes of No and anyone else that wants to attack it. Also news this week, Genesis Federation enters within a non-invasion pact with SCG, one of the larger Chinese alliances still in the game around Omist as well as Phaeabolus. Now, this non-invasion pact precludes either side from attacking structures within territories, as well as destroying PvE bases, pirate bases, in either territory. However, roaming games are free to roam the areas and kill whatever they find. Let's hope this revitalizes the SCG nation and we'll want them to stay on our server and not exit out to the new Chinese server. Now let's take a look at another front. We are talking to the north, and the Silent Federation's efforts against Fireflies. Silent Federation moved with their operation to start removing Fireflies from Branch, and the goal was to destroy the Saku corporate citadel in 8-Tech 4GQM within Branch. Now, previously, they forward deployed to the NPC station in BKG Tech Q2, and I'm told that it paid dividends as they found the content without the need for travel. Firefly forces positioned directly on the undock of the NPC station, so at the time, Silent Federation undocked directly within their guardian bubble and killed all the ships within. Within 10 minutes, 96 enemy ships worth about 40 billion ISK were destroyed, while Silent took minimal casualties. I'm told with that fleet broken, the Saku Citadel did fall without any further resistance. Saku themselves did make a showing as they were attacking the Bounty Management Center Citadel add-on. Both sides were ready to fight, however the FC's device kept crashing, so the Silent fleet had to dock up without a real battle, exchanging only pleasantries within local chat. I'm sorry, that was the Saku fleet that docked up. The end result being that the third Firefly Citadel has fallen and is further clearing the path from Declan into the heart of Branch. Now, at the time of the BKG Tech Q2 station battle, local peaked at around 433. The enemy fleet was made up of 51 battleships, 50 battlecruisers, and 50 cruisers, 1 destroyer, and 4 frigates, a total of 121 ships. The Federation fleet themselves had 68 battleships, 50 battlecruisers, 27 cruisers, 1 destroyer, 14 frigates, and 4 pods, 164 ships. Now, the 8-Tech 4GQM Bounty Management Center battle, the Saku armor fleet had 32 battlecruisers, 1 cruiser, 5 frigates equaling 39 ships, made up of 4 armor guardians, 4 armor logi, and 1 command, whereas the Federation fleet had 26 battleships at this point, 11 battlecruisers, 8 cruisers, 1 destroyer, and 4 frigates, 51 ships. That's 26 Tempests, 3 guardians, and 5 logis. Also this week, we've seen a change in the approach of Captain Benzie. Before, in the past, Benzie and his followers have raged, or not so much raged, but condemned memes of himself and his videos and his standing within the entire community. However, over the past week and a half to 2 weeks, we've seen an absolute change in this behavior, whereas Benzie has been producing some excellent memes of himself, more so than the ones I've seen in the past. I do enjoy this this twist on Benzie's character, and that he is embracing this and moving forward in the community. Because at the end of the day, if you can't laugh at yourself, then you need to lighten up. So definitely a salute to Captain Benzie, and can't wait to see what you come up with this week. Now, in a report last week where we reported on StarCats leaving Pantheon to join the Silent Federation, there were statements made by Pantheon how the Silent leadership was not happy that they were moving in and joining Silent themselves. So I did have to reach out to leadership within Silent Federation a week removed to see exactly how the fit is working out. Nyla states that StarCats has been finding their way, their voice, and blending well here within Silent. They have recently dropped Sov in their newly secured space in Branch and are contributing actively within PvE, PvP, and industry. They are doing everything they can to make their transition as easy as possible and making their home here within the Federation. We communicate daily with the leadership of StarCats and have found them to be working very hard to conform to their expectations and the Silent culture. He does go on to say that he wasn't aware that Banana had made claims that they didn't want them. He thinks that granting them space in their hard-fought territory within Branch speaks louder than any kind of statement that he could make regarding if they want them or not there in Silent. So there you have it. They are a welcome addition to Silent Federation. Now, this story itself isn't so much a EVE Echoes story, more of a EVE Online story, and we just wanted to touch and say that the new EVE Anywhere program, which allows you to play EVE Online from your browser, has expanded to include a number of countries within Europe. Here's a map right here showing exactly which countries in the UK you can play EVE Online through your browser using EVE Anywhere. CCP is also launching a new player experience, which should go live within the coming weeks. This week, the Corp Alliance Spotlight goes out to the Gulag Discord server. Do you hate yourself? Do you hate your corporation? Well, the Gulag Gang is recruiting for not purple shoot-it fleets. We will help you shoot those pesky blues that you have to work with day in and day out. We have all the tips and the tricks to commit blue fuckery and get away with it. The Gulag is host to many in-depth, toxic discussions about EVE Echoes politics and EVE Echoes fitting best practices. This fall, Space Karen will be rolling out courses in shitposting and meme lording. Also, the EVE Echoes Gulag is home to the most formidable force in the game as ever, the Praxis Gang. Join today, or don't. We don't care. Paid by your favorite loot pinata, that would be Uncle Durka, aka Durkadur. But in all seriousness, I am actually an avid member of the Gulag Discord server. It isn't as toxic as everyone leads out to be. There are some great conversations and a lot of fun to be had in there. Recently this week, the Gulag Gang has declared war on Providence. More to come in the following weeks. This week's Angry Rant is also about faction warfare. That's right. Now, the thing that pisses me off this week about faction warfare are the ones that join the game and don't do a damn thing. They just sit there on the spawn and you can see exactly what they are. Because at the end of the match, you look at the scorecard and they have zeros across the board. If you're not going to play, don't enter the damn game. We have come up to the devs, as well as Joseph, the community manager, to see if there's some way they can actually implement some form of, if you're not making a move, or you're not moving in space, you're not shooting something within a set amount of time, you are ejected from the game with a 20-minute ban. Such as when you shoot a blue member on your team, you get a 20-minute ban. That would be ideal to fix the situation, but until then, we now have to deal with these zeros across the board where they just think it's fun that they may or may not get a win just from logging in. Now, that being said, I would also like to give a shout out to everyone that in Genesis and Evo that participated this week when we tried doing pre-mades. Now, at one point, the entire one side was Genesis members, and on the other side was me and a bunch of random players. And I could hear all of them laughing on comms. However, I did plead with them. I'm saying, hey guys, you know you want me to get that next rank. Why don't you help me out and not try as hard as you normally would? Long story short, I guess I played very well because I actually won that match and actually finally achieved the next rank. I'm not rank 4 yet, still a long way to go. I have beaten back up to rank 3. This week we see a return of the bounty board. The scalp you're hunting for this week is Expect. He is a member of Void within the Cat Skull Cartel. No information about the areas that he frequents. However, the bounty is 10% of the kill mail value, capped at 20 million for kill mails. This bounty will go up for 2 weeks. I will have the information down below in the description of who to contact to get your bounties. And we start off the big kills of the week with Honk with this 5.5 billion Macarial, as well as a 9 billion Stratios, which I was told was originally supposed to be a solo kill for Badran for the solo kill contest. However, a no pilot jumped in at the last minute and ruined it for him. Catch 22's Honey Badgers gives us a 3.4 billion Maelstrom kill, and FRA from Catch-22 gives us a 3.3 Megathron Striker. Genesis Federation has a 4.6 billion Astero, as well as a 3.4 billion Rock. Mug comes in this week with a 9.9 billion Stratios kill. From Pantheon, Legend gives us a 6.8 billion Balgorn kill, a 10.3 billion Macario kill, and a 9.9 billion Nightmare kill. Pantheon overall also scored a 4.5 billion Garmer kill, as well as a 5.5 million Macario kill. Bots gives us 2 Macario kills, one at 5.3 billion, the other at 5.8 billion. 2 Rattlesnake kills, one at 8.8 billion, the other at 7.9 billion. A Balgorn kill worth 6 billion, and a 13.6 billion Vindicator kill. Void comes in with a 103 billion Harbinger kill. Yep, it's one of those kills. Revs gives us a 9.5 billion Nightmare kill. No Police Stop gives us 7 Macario kills, the largest being a 6.6 billion. 3 Rattlesnakes, the largest at 8.9 billion. 2 Vindicators, the largest at 5.9 billion. 4 Balgorn kills, the tallest one at 6.6 billion, and 1 Nightmare kill at 9.4 billion. Aggro gives us a 207 billion CNI kill, and yeah, that's another one of those kills. And 6 Seal gives us a 4.8 billion Raven Striker kill. Alright guys, before we move to the honorable mentions, I know I say send me your kill mails, but that does not mean send me every single kill mail that your corporation or alliance partakes in. I'm looking at Ubot, who has given me a mega file of about 100 kills in the past week. I really don't need to receive the ones that are 11 million. If you want to be featured in the big kills of the week, the kill must be over 3 billion for the big kills. Alright, now for the honorable mentions of this week. First up, we have the saga of Big Papa and his 15.9 billion Charon freighter kill by the sentry guns. Now, if you're like me, you're probably wondering how could this happen, as freighters don't have any module spots. So I reached out to Big Papa to see exactly what happened, and apparently he wanted to move it up to null, but he didn't want to risk someone getting it as a kill mail, so he jumped into an Algos, undocked, and shot at the station. After getting popped, he redocked up with his crime timer, then just undocked in the freighter to be killed by the sentry guns. Now this freighter has an insurance price tag of $55,788, but Papa sees it as peace of mind and an instant recovery. When I commented on the price of the insurance points, he assured me that, truly, it's no problem, he can afford it. Next, we move on to a Velator pilot who took on a Hound stealth bomber and came out victorious. Congratulations to you. And now, everyone's favorite portion, the solo kills of the week, and a chance at winning a free Omega combo. Starting us off is Heck28 with a 2.8 billion Coveter 2 kill. S793 with a 3.1 billion Ruck kill. Simon with a 3.5 billion RB Covert Ops 3 kill. LT Balls Deep with a 3.7 billion Astero kill. Victoria Wild with a 3.9 billion Garmer kill. M1A1 with his signature outpost kills, this one at 4.5 billion. Oncool with a 4.6 billion Garmer kill. T14 with a 6 billion Nereus 2 kill. Oswald Stout with a 7.5 billion Bestower kill. And the winner of this week's Omega combo is Purple WW with this beautiful 8.2 billion Cinnable kill with B-types. Alright, so congratulations on that kill. Purple, hit me up on Discord so I can get that prize out to you. And that's our show this week, but if you need more news in your life, I suggest you take your butts over to Sky News where they have the best of the Russian news outlets, but don't worry, their videos are always in subtitles for English and whichever other language you need to listen to. They have a great show over there, great production team. I suggest checking it out. And as always, you have the ever-reliable Rambo with the Echoes of New Eden podcast, with great interviews every week with outstanding members of the community, as well as roundtable discussions. And until next episode, have a great week, have a great weekend, fly safe, and remember, we are always one vision, one purpose, one front.